You edited it, okay. Sorry.
I don't have the executed one, but
Yeah, I think so, just, we should print one, maybe we can,
so when we were.
print one out here for me to sign, and then you can leave it for Claire to sign. Okay, yeah, so let's do that, let's just print something out before I go.
Yeah, sorry.
You didn't happen to print out the whole package, did you? Did you print out the MOU?
It wasn't in the packet.
Yeah, he just added it.
Oh, okay.
You saw it
Oh, I printed it out.
earlier.
This is how cold I am.
I was going to, I was looking.
Right, yeah, I wrote it today.
And like, because they like, handwriting recognition.
And is there anything, like, did you see anything from Terry or? Oh, there's Nancy. Carol is not,
Did you get it from here?
yeah, she's not coming. Let me just see if there's something from Terry. No, it's there.
Yeah, that's Reagan, that one, too.
Yeah.
So, it's all there. But you can only fit it in.
Well, I started pouring on my phone, but the hours. Well, I didn't want to go back. Okay, so I was trying to figure out every app for recording on my phone. Just the voice. Yeah, because I tried to do something I was in, like, it's just like, I was making a video, but then it went through the dates, like, you could handle it. Can't read it that way. Yeah.
Like
the band. No, and.
I was actually pretty excited last week.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Today it is Monday, May 13th, 2024. I would like to call to order a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for the Saratoga Springs Public Library. Thank you for being here. Our first item on the agenda is our approval of our April meeting minutes. In a regular meeting on April 8th and a special meeting on April 19th. Does anyone have any questions or changes in these minutes? Oh, sorry, wait, Don.
We're going.
Okay.
Just note the date is wrong on the special meeting on the agenda, it's April 29th.
Okay. Can you make that change, Tanya?
I think the minutes have the right date, it's just the agenda.
Okay. So then I don't know, we even, I just have it correct. So can I have a motion to approve the minutes for those two meetings?
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay. Second, thanks, Nancy. All in favor? pass. The next item is the approval of the expenditures that include a request to reallocate $5,000 from miscellaneous to the programs. April prepaid check 72149 to 72151, totaling $3,570.72. And the May warrants checks 72152, 72252, totaling $430,062.85. What are those highlighted?
Those are the ones that I handed you.
Oh, okay.
It's a note to remind me that. they're-
All right, great. I wrote it down and I should have noticed that. Does anyone have any questions? The reallocation is that one that you brought to our attention last month?
No, it's as we're getting closer to the end of the year and.
Okay,
uh,
right.
And the other big expense that you'll notice is the nearly $300,000 to the Saratoga Spring City School District. And what that is the retirement bill for the year, which we pay one time a year at about this time,
Okay,
which is why the number is so big, which is.
right, great. Thanks for clarifying that. Does anyone have any questions about any of those? Would someone like to make a motion?
Are we approving the reallocation as part of this?
Do you want us to approve the reallocation separate or just as a part of the financial reports?
I think they can all go together.
Yeah, that's in by you. Okay, all right. So a motion to reallocate that $5,000 from the miscellaneous programs, the adult prepaid checks and the May warrants and checks. Would like to, thanks, Terry. Thanks, Heather. All in favor? And then the approval of the financial reports that includes the April prepaids and May warrant summary sheet, the budget report and the income report. And I could just mention, it's up there, what was in that high expense in the warrants. Does anyone have any questions also that are in the budget report that's on the screen right now? And if not, would someone like to make a motion to approve the financial reports? Second? Thanks, Steve. All in favor? Great. My report. We have a signed agreement with the city. It's to be in everybody's reports. Everybody. And so I would really like to offer my full-hearted gratitude for everybody going along with these months and months and months of tasks and work and giving me statistics when I asked for them. Ike being so generous of his time with text and phone calls and how do we understand this and how do we read this and which way should we go? And all of you being willing to have these extra meetings when we needed to accommodate getting everything there. It feels really good. So I hope that, yeah, here we are. And I had a really nice conversation with Mike Beach the other day to offer him some extra thanks as well and to say, and who knew that I think it actually built a nice relationship with the city. I think it was a unanimous decision. And I think that they are excited for us. I'm pleased about revenue they're going to get that's going to help support more surveillance and support of the building in general. And I think all in all, it turned out to be a really positive thing. So that is it for me.
Can I just say, I want to thank you and I have Jennings and you as well. They did such a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, that's, yeah, thank you. Okay. Public comment, there's nothing that we received, communication, correspondence, nothing as far as I know. And so we are at Ike's report.
So the big thing that's under new business here is that after I went to this meeting, that was sponsored by the DBA with all of the security people, with the police and the FBI and Homeland Security about what they anticipate is going to be mayhem, essentially, during the Belmont Festival. Starting with the day Wednesday, when they're closing down a substantial section of Broadway for about 24 hours. The concert that's going to be Blues Traveler in front of the city center. Thinking, and we talked internally about, we might want to treat that like a New Year's Eve or and close early so people can clear out before the crowds move in on that one day. There's a whole lot of other stuff going on for the rest of the week leading up to the big race on Saturday, but most of it is at the racetrack or at other places that aren't right immediately downtown. So we think we'll be okay with the schedule for the rest of the week, but for that one day, it just seems like it would be a good idea for us all for the schedule.
Yeah, I agree. Do you want to wait for us to vote on that to new business, or do you want us to just do that right now?
It's up to you.
Are you all comfortable with just doing that? I'd like to make,
Maybe, can I just ask, do we have anything special we're gonna do in the library? Because there's gonna be a lot of things maybe flowing through.
We don't have anything that's race related. Really, it's a very odd time of year. You're right. There will be a lot of people in the building. We think since they're holding off to do the parking implementation until after the Belmont. I think it's going to be kind of mayhem down here. School is
During the Wednesday, but after that, it will be opened up again.
Right.
I was thinking actually, with, the health history of horses, I was thinking we might fit in history piece in the Saratoga Village. It could be something that could be just highlighted that we have a magnificent and unique collection here. Do you want to learn more? Just how there's a space where we can bring some thought to what's happening on this day. Yeah.
and I'm sure you know, Catherine, as far as I know, they closed the public schools for that Friday. Yeah.
So they can be
So-
stuff.
Sorry. Get out the stuffed horses, the hobby horses.
Well, Alex has been die cutting felt horses for weeks now. We have stacks of them, so we're on it. Every time I turn around, I see her over there.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. That's a nice idea. Gina, thanks for sharing that. So does anyone have any questions about the change of the schedule for the library for that particular Wednesday before I make a motion? So 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Yeah, so we would be closing, the library closed early on that particular Wednesday and then have the normal hours otherwise through Belmont.
I move that we do a change in the hours to accommodate them.
Great, thank you. And the second? Thank you, Nancy. All in favor?
I,
Okay. And does anyone have any questions for Ike about any of the other things in his report? There's congratulations to Jean in there.
And while we're congratulating and thanking people, I wanted to congratulate Kate Lambert and the crew from the Youth Services Department for the Neurodiversity Club being named the Program of the Year.
Yeah.
And we had an event last week, an incident in the library where people really stepped up, acted quickly, particularly Emily Martin. We'll do a little bit more about another one of her projects later, but Emily Martin, Mary Ratzer, John Whalen, and Rick Tars. We had a woman who was in distress in the women's room. So, a patron reported that she was on the floor, she was not responsive. So Emily wriggled her way under the stall door, unlocked the door. She and Mary got the woman out of the stall. They began to administer, they called 911 to administer first aid. Rick was running to get a Narcan dose when the paramedics showed up. So he didn't have to complete that task. They came in, they administered a dose of Narcan. She revived. They took her away to the hospital, the ambulance, but with, who knows what would happen without all of the quick response, particularly about the Mary job. They saved the woman's life potentially. So we joke about things they don't teach in library school.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, right. Although I wonder now if they are actually teaching that in library school, sadly. But yeah, lucky to have so many incredible people here. Okay, thank you. I don't have my written one, so I'm back and forth between here. Jen, is there anything you would like
I
to?
don't, it was, Earth Month and
Yeah.
a lot of sustainability stuff happened, in the library. Probably on purpose that it was all in April, but we have a community garden at the Pitney Meadow Farms, and I think I put a picture of that in there, and it actually, went to it and put some seeds in the ground, so hopefully we start growing stuff soon.
Yeah,
It'll be
nice.
fun. Yeah, so all that white, forgot what they call it, but we've got a non-gardener in charge of this right now, so it's kind of fun with that experience. But, it's a beautiful place. If you actually haven't been there, I suggest just go walk around the garden. It's very nice.
I have lots of people telling me how much fun they're having with the seed library.
People love it.
Yeah, I really love that.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, we still have plenty of seeds, and I think, for a non-gardener, I know that I wait until Memorial Day to put stuff in the ground, so you still have time.
Right.
You'll still grow stuff.
That's right. Nice, great. Okay, Don, you're next. Welcome to the new tree. There it is.
Didn't post any show and tell, but I did bring some.
Oh, I love show and tell.
So hopefully I'm not stepping on Trevor's. Get ready to go for it. We partnering, we're paying T-Mobile for hotspots that we loan out, and we had a meeting the other day and they kind of talked us in, but it really kind of aligns with what we're doing. We decided to try out loaning Chromebooks. So this is our first one. Yeah, into Chromebooks, and so this is what the device is. It's just pretty much an internet machine. Most people probably know what Chromebooks do. They're by Google, and they pretty much just go to the internet, you browse and do all your internet stuff on them. So we've set it up so that patrons can use these. And did we set it? Do you have an idea for a loan period of 2 or 1?
I think we're gonna go 2 weeks, like everything else is 2 weeks, so yeah.
So we've got it set so over the 2 weeks, Chromebooks are good at erasing and keeping things safe, but we've got it so that they can log in and it doesn't erase, so they can have a decent. Remember, it'll remember their history and their bookmarks and things, which is a nice feature for a vulnerable type device. Generally, they'll either be very unsecure and open like that, or super locked down, and you have to redo everything every time you log in. So the fact that you can give this, still be secure, and they can still use it across a vacation or whatever, and it still remembers their trip or whatever they're doing with it is a nice feature. So these are pretty much ready. We're trying to fine tune how we present them to patrons. It's not clunky, but it's a little explain. We have to maybe a front back sheet on what people can do with this, because it's generally different than a laptop or a Mac, once you're, how we use it, so. Once we figure that out, have it tested and vetted, we'll roll these out, see what people want to do.
And then it's your intention that when it comes back, you clear all the browsers
Yep.
when someone checks it back?
Yeah, we think I'll power wash, wipe the entire history and everything on that user. And it's for our staff to do that, it's 3 clicks,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so.
No.
I did it just after I was playing with it. It's very straightforward. You can either log in or be a guest. So I logged in and kicked around, then did the power wash, and yeah, I mean, it's a keystroke.
Great,
Four
that's
buttons.
great.
So
It's not adding a long
Yeah.
time for staff, nice.
It's a much easier way for us to get into that arena, these books versus lending out a MacBook that would be a ordeal to clean up and reset.
Right. How many of them do you have to load?
we'll have 2.
So. See, get feedback, maybe they want a little bigger screen, I'm sure T-Mobile offers it. This is their entry level situation.
Uh-huh.
It's great.
Nice. Great.
My QC things I was doing,
You were having fun.
I was having fun reading.
just tell them what we're up to with all the computers and the new server and things. Nothing too exciting, just mundane, back in the shop type stuff.
We are very appreciative of the mundane back and shop kind of stuff, right? Rick, we're really appreciative of what happens down in the basement. It's right, that's right, that's right.
But I also appreciated the snappy headings of your report.
Yeah, see?
Sort of balance out the.
Right. Yeah, it's great. Thanks. Any questions for John? Okay. Trevor, I love, of course, your library of things. What did I see last night? So John Oliver's show last night was all about public libraries, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were people, they were borrowing at the library things,
There was this.
leaf blowers.
You know, I thought.
And it's the stuffed birds.
Crane.
The stuffed- And there was a stuffed bear and there was a stuffed deer. My husband was like, how many stuffed things? Like, what are these? They actually literally have, what is it called?
Taxidermy.
Taxidermy. You can borrow from the library taxidermy. So that you can bring it home and study it.
You mean like learn how to do it?
No, the
Like
things.
understand like.
So that I guess you could then draw it, or you could understand how its feathers are on its body. I don't know. There was a whole thing, but I was like, we've got a library of things too.
Room to grow. I'm not sure.
Your tools are staying where they are. Okay, anyway, sorry, Trevor.
No.
Off topic.
Yeah, this month it felt like we were just, this thing and that thing and these things, just kind of adding, new collections, and they were all kind of happening sort of at once, and I mean, it was a lot of fun, but it was also a lot for staff to kind of get used to. So really with all of this happening, I just really want to say that I think like Circulation and Tech Services did a marvelous job adapting to and incorporating the new information and procedures related to these new collections, like a Spanish language collection and library things. And as I mentioned, the Chromebooks will soon be loaning out. So there's another procedure for checkout and what happens to these devices when they come back in. So there's enough to become familiar, or a lot to become familiar with, how are things ordered? How are they processed when they come in? What are the loan periods? Who's eligible to take these items out? Special checkout, special check-in procedures. So they've been rock stars. So we're very fortunate to have such an awesome team and strong department. So really wanted to highlight that. And Jamie and Adult Services for picking up the Library of Things, and Marianne she's tackling the Spanish language collection. And so it started small, but her approach is just beautiful, where it's gonna be a combination of popular fiction and nonfiction, but also filling in the back catalog of titles. And so it's exciting. There's just a lot of stuff happening. So
Great,
that's really what I wanted to.
good. And the tote bags is such a nice idea.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was another staff member had gave me that idea. I can't take credit for that. I think Clifton Park is currently doing that. She used to work there. And so I approached Jen Allen, the friends, and said, we'd like to purchase a handful of these bags to circulate, because we still do get asked, do you have any bags I can take? And she said, just go into the cafe and you can have 6. So awesome, thank you. So,
Nice. Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
Good. Any questions for Trevor about anything? Okay.
Well, I just want to comment that I was happy to see about the launch of the Spanish language
Yeah.
collection. And it occurs to me that that's going to be used not only by people who are native Spanish speakers, but also I'm aware that there are a lot of people in the community who are interested in taking Spanish lessons and learning Spanish.
We've
So
experienced all
they'll
of
be
it.
happy to that as well.
Yeah, Mary Ann, I know she brings her students, and as do the tutors to the new collection. We've had at least 2 people that I know of that came and said, I'm learning Spanish. I feel like I'm watching, Spanish language YouTube. I want to get reading because it helps me think in another language, or want to access the humor of another culture. That's how you start to know that you're becoming fluent in thinking. We can do that. We got this. So thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's going to be serving a broad spectrum for the community. I think.
Great. Catherine, I love the potato heads. I love, all I can think of is going into the compost pile and decorating. I mean, there's sustainability right there.
Yeah.
Well, look at them, look how cute they are with their little carrot arms.
I have to admit, the leftovers went into the compost bucket in our office and it's not pleasant. Rick was like, we only do that every other week. Next year, we're gonna plan this better.
Those are buckets with seals.
Well, they are very, very cute.
I'll tell Laura you like them. She's
Yes.
very excited.
Oh, yeah.
Hysterical.
Yeah, it's there. Okay, so go ahead, what would you like to share?
Well, most of that programming was a big deal this month. Break week was really early in April this year, so we had some wacky weather and snow and rain. But we had a ton of people come in. So programming is going crazy. As Ike mentioned, Kate's Neurodiversity Club won the South Program of the Year award, which is fantastic. And it was so funny because she was already, it was doing well, so she was already working on expanding it, and then she won. And her partner Lauren was like, oh, well, we have to do this now, and we have to do that now. And Kate's like, okay. So it's really exciting. They had a special guest speaker from the Special Olympics this past month, and Kate and Anna Ray decided to try a teams only club, which they didn't get a huge turnout the first time, but they got a decent amount of signups. So we're hoping that if they keep going, they'll get some people. So we're really excited that people are responding so well to it, because it's a needed thing. We get a lot of families that come in that feel out of place, and they shouldn't, work for everybody. So yeah, mostly programming this month has been a big deal. We're also getting ready for summer reading. I joke, I'm like, this is like summer is coming.
Yeah. Instead of winter, it's not winter, it's kind of always winter.
So, yeah, no, lots of programs, lots of fun. We're busy.
Good. Great. Any questions for Catherine from anyone? And Jamie, and I was in a meeting this afternoon, so I couldn't come to this, but incredible.
It launches on the 20th.
Oh, what was this afternoon?
I thought it was this afternoon. but
Yeah, no, next.
Oh,
Like on the calendar incorrectly, next week.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, before I go into anything on my report, I handed out a little information sheet for you all. And I want to invite you to the launch of a new collection that we're going to be doing called Read to Recover. So this is a passion project from my librarian, Emily Martin, who you just heard about. She was the one that helped assist the patron in crisis. And also she partnered with one of our part-time librarians, Mary Ratzer, who is just a rock star in the librarian field. She's probably one of the, she's just an amazing librarian. And so they partnered together to bring this whole collection to our library. So what Read to Recovery is going to be totally free access to information for addiction and the recovery process. In libraries, those are often the most stolen items or the items that don't come back. So we're going to make them completely free for people to take and keep. This is all funded through donations from the community. So Emily, I mean, as soon as I said, yes, go ahead, when she came to me with this idea, she solicited money from community partners. We got, what was it? Let me see, I have it written down. Over $1,400 from Adirondack Trust, and the National Library of Medicine funded $5,000 worth of books. And so you can see the list of books is on the second page. So this is all the things that we're going to be handing out. We've got all different languages for recovery information. And so these are the languages she worked with Mary Ann, our outreach literacy librarian, to figure out what languages we would need resources in. It's crazy that Mary and Emily were the first people to respond to the patron that was in crisis, because they're the ones that have been working on this. So this whole project has very much been, everything has fallen into place. And I think that's because it really is needed in our community. So we're so excited to bring this here. Now, it started, Read to Recover started in San Francisco Public Library, and they wanted it to expand. So we're gonna be the second library in the country to have it. Yes, so we're really hoping that then Emily's building a toolkit so other libraries can replicate this as well. So on May 20th, next Monday, 2 o'clock, that's when she's launching the collection. So we're gonna house it for right now up at the top of the stairs on the second floor, and it's gonna be moving to the stacks like off to the side, so nobody has to come to a librarian or talk to them, and they can have some privacy as they're browsing. The whole thing is supposed to be, they're supposed to be able to feel comfortable going to get these materials.
Right.
So please, everyone come, check it out. It's gonna be community members there. We're just really excited, and I'm so proud of Emily and Mary. It's amazing what they've accomplished in such a short amount of time.
And I assume they've been in touch with San Francisco as well.
They have, yeah, so the San
Because they
Francisco
must be
said,
so
the Read
pleased
to
to know.
Recover, this graphic is from San Francisco, and they said, yes, go ahead, use it, and
Okay.
they're beyond excited. So
I would imagine it feels so
Yeah.
good to them to create
Yeah.
something and then see all the way across the country
I
and
know.
someone else pick it up.
East Coast, West Coast. dude. So yes,
When they started, do you know when they launched theirs?
it was April of 2023, I believe.
So, okay, yeah, it's like, there's only two, because it seems like a no-brainer, and like.
Yeah, I mean, the San Francisco Public Library has a bunch of different branches, so it's in all of their branches.
Right.
But yeah, so it will screen out, yep. So just so proud of them. And my only other thing for my report was, we finished up with our Saratoga Reads programming, and so I thought it was a successful season, with some great programs, and I've been here a year now, so if there's anything else you'd like to see me add into my reports, let me know.
Okay, thanks. Anybody have any questions or anything for Jamie? Right. Rick, anything that,
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to the maintenance team, because really they carried the ball. I was gone for 2.5 weeks in the Southwest, so was like, you got almost all of my list done. But we have a pretty good team right now, and everybody helps each other, and you noticed outside, everything is just getting tuned up and cleaned up, and You know, there's a lot of work this kind of year for contractor quotes. We have a big project that we're working towards, you know, for Catherine. Children here, and it's just busy.
Good,
We're doing that.
great.
Anybody else have any questions? As you can see, it was a pretty basic report.
Yeah, well, hey, that's good. Nothing big broke. Nothing- Those are good, right, exactly. Those are good. So thanks, Rick. There are no special or community reports this month. The next item on the agenda is the memorandum of understanding with Friends of Saratoga Springs Public Library. We had offered some suggestions to them the last time that we looked at this, and they adopted those suggestions. So do you want to just take a quick peek at it? Here, Frank, do you want to read it on my laptop? Or you want okay reading it on there? Since you had those particular things, would it be easier to read on this?
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, sorry.
I think there wasn't a lot.
No, there were just those couple things that you.
Yeah, they just put in that extra language.
Right, great.
Thanks.
Okay. So with that change, would someone like to make a motion to?
Move that we accept.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what the word was that I wanted in my head. Thank you. Exactly that. Move that we accept this memorandum of understanding between the Saratoga Springs Public Library and the Friends of Saratoga Springs Public Library.
I'll move. that we
Thanks, Jean.
accept This memorandum.
Thanks, Terry. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So Ike is gonna print that out and I will sign it today before I go so that it can go to the Friends Board this week. The next is we have a request. We don't have a
We
report
don't have a report from Kelly.
from Kelly. Okay, so we just have this request from her.
Yes,
A very nice appointment. This is provisional because,
because the list hasn't been established yet, so,
okay,
but we think it's coming, it's probably on its way.
great. So I would like to make a motion to provisionally appoint Jennifer Agrodowski as Librarian 1 Access and Outreach Services effective May 13th, 2024. Would someone like to second that? Second, thanks, Heather. All in favor? Aye. Lucky you, Trevor.
Yes, very.
That's great. We took care of the schedule change. And then the next is, thanks, Don, for pulling that up. We have a request from the police department who would like to install a camera in our lot in order to be able to see what is happening in the back spaces of these bars that face Philo Street. They will pay to put the camera in. They will be maintaining it. It is not anything that will be our responsibility. Our camera policy that we have includes privacy of the interior space of the library. We have a couple of cameras on the outside that are just when we needed them for that information, but I remembered in those legal conversations, and as we can expect, that what is recorded of people outdoors is generally not privacy
Right.
protected, just as every little ring camera, right, or whatever they are on people's doors right now.
Which way would it be?
So it would be facing, the arrow is that it would be here facing those courtyards.
So does this, is it anything, this is just coincidental that the parking thing is all being rolled out, is it all?
Yes, it's coincidental only in that I think that the police department is, I was in touch by email with the assistant police chief, I think it was, and they're just looking at where they have areas that they may not have eyes. And this is one of them. So there may be lots of others going on around the city. This one was just brought to our attention because they would need our permission to put a camera there. I would imagine they have cameras on, you would know when you were doing that part with the lights, like on the corners of somewhere along Caroline Street and things, right?
And then there's
Yeah.
there's one directly across the.
All over the place. So I think this is a blind, my guess is this is a blind spot that isn't being caught. Is there something across the street,
There
right?
is, yeah, right across on the pole across the street from the end of the ramp. There's a camera there.
Right,
And we have cooperated with them before. We have some equipment on the roof of the building that's sort of like a repeater for video signals that come from.
I was just curious because of the parking thing won't be real.
yeah, no, I don't think it didn't necessarily have to do with that, it seemed as though it was just that then the conversations were happening around the library and the enforcement and,
And this has been.
and that has been a trouble spot. I mean, right now, nobody's in there at all in the Nashville or in the other space, right? While it's, under whatever they call that, when they shut you
Yeah,
down.
yeah, they were seized.
Seized in this, yeah,
Right.
but it doesn't mean it won't be up and running, for summer. And that's also where the library has had issues where those courtyards have kind of overflowed into the parking lot and things. And so in that respect, it would give them that footage.
Right, and there were a couple of instances last summer where the person was stabbed, and then there were other fights that. We spilled out into the parking lot, and we have cameras that caught some of it, but not enough to help them with it.
What does it involve?
I think they just will put a camera probably on, there's a lamp post in the median there that they would probably just mount it on the lamp post.
Right. So the question is how folks feel about that, if we're okay with offering that to, it is, like I said, it is only facing that direction. It is not even, giving an angle of who's entering or leaving the library.
It doesn't seem to violate any library policy.
No, it doesn't. In fact, it conforms with our policy, which says that there's no expectation of privacy outside.
And it otherwise seems in the interest of the library
I think
to have that monitored.
Yeah, and it's dark there, right? I mean, it's,
Right.
My kids worked in one of those restaurants and my youngest kid was outside about 15 minutes before that stabbing happened, taking garbage out, so their garbage is back there. So that,
and the little alley, like
Yeah.
it's a little dark and, yeah, so. So if everyone is comfortable with that, I would, you have a question?
Except, yeah, well, one more question here for lawyer Frank, and that is, informally, this is not, the library is not entailing any additional liability by granting permission for this camera.
Well, I don't see why the library would entail any additional liability. It's in a public space. I don't see it.
And it's there, if someone damaged the camera or something, it's not our expense, the library's expense to.
We're not monitoring.
Yeah, we're not gonna,
Only the police are doing it.
Signing something?
no, they're just asking us to offer permission.
But is there going to be some sort of statement about those conditions? And then the idea that they're taking responsibility.
We can, I specifically asked those questions and he responded with, so I could ask him to just give us
I think it might be,
a statement that
might be
indicates
wise
that.
just to have it on record, if this is the understanding.
Okay. So Ike and I, because that would be Ike that they would be interacting with, are you comfortable with you and I writing
Yeah,
something that would just say that the
that's
board
fine.
supports this with these conditions?
Yeah, they're probably gonna be interacting more with Rick than anybody else.
With, okay,
But yes, we should, if we're gonna have a short and sweet MOU with them about these are the terms and conditions.
yeah,
I don't see an insurance issue to you.
An insurance issue, no, in fact, I think it might, the insurance would probably like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we had, speaking of which, we have a meeting tomorrow morning with our insurance broker for Utica National. To walk around the premises, so no.
Might be worth mentioning it to them anyway, just.
the cameras, do you know, Heather, do you know if they are constantly recording daytime, nighttime? And then, yeah, is that your sense, Rick? And then if someone needs that
Especially that one.
information, then they go back to say what happened during that time, that window.
And I don't know how long that gets stored.
Right, which would be the way it is with all of these kinds of.
So much data that's getting overwritten, certainly.
Yeah,
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 I think it's not any promise window.
right. Well, it would be similar to how the cameras, yeah, function here.
And maybe this is a little bit of what you're saying, but because there's no right to privacy and the library doesn't guarantee any privacy that.
In the parking lot. right.
Yeah, I think, I don't see an issue.
Right, okay, so I would like a motion to, offer our permission to the police department to place a camera in the lot to face those buildings that front Philo Street. And that, with a statement of their responsibility to maintain them and, that we are not liable if they are damaged, you know, those details.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
And maybe you want to be like specifically and say, pointed towards.
Yes, well, and
To
that's what,
monitor building space, yeah.
yes, and that's what he specifically, that's what he said, and this is what from him.
Maybe that could be attached, that little
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, exactly. That is who we got this from. So, yeah. Okay, so would someone like to make that motion? That I just stated?
So maybe.
Thank you. Seconded? Thank you, Nancy. All in favor? Right, okay.
Rick, do we know if that, pole we do occasionally have to replace poles when they get knocked over. Do we recall?
Could be their
that?
responsibility.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all 277 volts. They have to put a little mini transformer piece there. We talked about it when they were put the one over there. They wanted to put one at the end of the brand. But you can't, with the edges, and they decided they could see more up into the back alleys if it was closer to that side of the road. Because we cannot access any of the data anyway, right? And we're not sharing data. And really, it was for some of the real issues of what was happening in those darker areas at night.
Right.
And yeah,
Yeah,
I don't see any problems at all, especially pointed into that because there is stuff happening in those little cubbies.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
can't stop.
right. Great. Okay, so we will give them that information. Before we adjourn in June, we will have our Board of Trustees, small annual retreat after our meeting for just 20 minutes or so. That is which is our final meeting of this calendar year, because remember our library calendar year begins in July and it is June 10th. Yes. So before any of the trustees go, I just have for you the evaluation form that is just something for you to read and review, and you can make little notes for yourself of things that you want to talk about of how we have been connecting with the mission, the vision, the values of the library, and the focus areas of the strategic plan, which I've outlined. It's not anything you need to fill out or, it's just for our conversation, okay? So I, thank you all for coming, and this meeting is adjourned.